everyone, and welcome to this week's video. This week, in the interest of doing something a little bit more fun and crafty, as I like to try and do at least one crafty thing a month up on this channel, I decided to using my Super Sculpey, which I've had for a while, to create my very own Prickles clay pins. Now, I was massively inspired by an artist called P.O.BOX who makes their own clay pins, and it's been something that I've been interested in doing for a while. And since I've been working on these Prickle emote stickers and some other merchandise as well, I thought these would make super cute pins. So my first thing was to sketch all of these out and like the sort of idea and range of emotions that I wanted to do. It was sort of a way for me to do emotes for my Discord, as well as future emotes for when I do Twitch streaming, and as well as little merch ideas that I had. I was really inspired by doing all the little faces on my Switch decoration. When I was decorating my Switch case, I really loved the idea of all of these tiny little Prickles faces and really wanted to develop the idea further. So these have been made into stickers, and they have been made into other merchandise as well, which should hopefully arrive next month so that I can tell you all about my first experiences doing that merchandise. These were so much fun to make. I ran across a few errors in the way since I'm still fairly new when it comes to the whole sculpting process, but I had an awful lot of fun doing these, and I highly recommend anyone as a project to do these. I would say overall the project is going to cost you around about £20 to £30, which is about $30 to $40 to get the clay, to get the pin backs, to get the glue, and to get the pens as well. But when you start making these, it's very addictive and it's very difficult to stop. In fact, since I've done the first batch of these, I've been really tempted to do more batches of these in many ways possible. So the first thing I do is I have to roll out my clay. Now, I actually don't have a clay rolling pin, so I had to improvise and use what I got. So I have this really thick barrel charcoal pen, which I did a review on a while back, and I've used these a few times to do some some drawing here and there. And using some of the tools that I've got, I managed to do some really cute shapes to make the actual Prickles faces on, and it was really fun to do. I just really like making the shapes first of all, and the good thing is once you've done your basic shape, you can build up upon this. I learned a lot in this process. I learned that you have to make sure that your clay is kind of thick, around about, I would say, about ½ centimeter minimum, mainly because of when it warps when it's cooking, as well as like certain features as well you've just got to be very careful of. For example, this one is like almost the right sort of thickness. It's not too thin, it's not too thick, but like you do notice like the thinner that you go with the clay, yes, you are saving more clay, but then you have more fragile moments with it. I've been watching a lot of clay making videos to try and get a best idea so that I can understand how to apply it in my work, and honestly, it's a lot of fun. So for those wondering, all of these are not available up on the store. They aren't available up on the store at the moment. I'm actually having a massive shop update tomorrow on the 1st of May. I'm putting some of these up on the store, so you can get yourself a handmade clay pin if you're interested, as well as some new merchandise that's going up on there with new prints and stickers. I'll leave a link to both my Etsy and my Store Envy, which will have most of the products on there. The Etsy will have the pins, whereas the Store Envy will have some prints up on there. So if you are interested, like, I'll leave links so that you can check those out down below. But I recommend this project to anyone. Like, if you ever need a crafty thing that you just want to sink your teeth into, this was so much fun and I learned so much from it. I learned that I don't have a lot of patience, which is a given anyway, considering I have no patience when it comes to trying things in any way, shape or form. And I also learn about a lot how the clay behaves. One of the things that I really did struggle with, I will say, is when I've made the shape, was trying to smooth out the edges. I tried my best, but I still feel like my clay my clay moments still need to shine a little bit brighter by me doing different projects, and I definitely will be doing some more projects with what clay I had left. And I actually really wanted to ask you, since I've done this first batch of Prickles brooches and I had so much fun doing these, what character would you like to see next? Would you like to see Plumpkin, our pumpkin kitty? Maybe we can do that for a later, like, autumn release. Or maybe to do with Cap and Gus, maybe I should do some Mushroom Hunters themed ones. Maybe Magnus and Lavender, maybe I should do some themed ones with those. Let me know in the comment section down below what you would like to see next. And also, if you were making clay pins, what would you make out of clay? Like, what kind of pins would you make? So this was officially all the faces I'd made. Some smaller, some bigger, different sizes, having lots of fun. And the whole idea is each one is unique. However, I had my temperatures correct. I had the timing correct. I left them in actually 5 minutes less than what it suggested. And they burnt. I think my temperature in my oven, it gets a little bit too high because I had it set at 180. I think it gets a little bit too warm, so I think it's my oven that's at fault there. But as with when it comes to clay baking, you have to test out different things, especially when it comes to different thicknesses. So what I did was I actually did several coats of gesso on these to lift that colour up, so that when it came to putting the base coat down of Posca or acrylic paint markers, it was a nice even coat for it to lay upon, so that it didn't have like this sort of issue with the colour seeping through it. And as you can see, they turned out really lovely, a really nice matte colour. Really happy with the way that it came out, and after that I decided I had to draw all the faces on them, and to make each one unique, every single one has a slightly different face. So even though there's some angry ones, some sad ones, they all have a slightly different thing to, and it's just to make them a little bit more unique and a little bit more special. And I really had so much fun drawing all these faces. I like drawing Prickles a lot because he's a very emotive character, and he's just so much fun to colour in. And the best thing is, it's anyone at any skill level, if you stick to a basic shape, you can really build upon that. There were some issues. I think I should have sanded some of the areas of the clay down. I think any ones that I wasn't really 100% happy with actually didn't end up on the list to sell or list to send to Patreon. In the end, I think I did 34 of these, which is kind of insane, but I had so much fun doing them. Like, 100% highly recommend for any craft project to do, to keep your mind creative and having an awful lot of fun. Unfortunately, some of the materials of the clay and the pens do bring a slight bit of a cost. This is why I actually saved up over several months to be able to use the YouTube money to be able to buy the art supplies, because whenever I earn money from videos, I actually pump them back into videos, so then I'm not wasting money on new supplies. That way it's always when I do get materials, I don't feel as bad about spending money on them. Materials that I use very often, I do try and restock at least once a year, but when it comes to using materials specifically for videos, I actually use a lot of the YouTube money to be able to do them. So initial startup cost unfortunately does cost a fair bit, like I said, but once you've got the clay and once you've got the pens and once you've got everything that you need, you can make quite a few of these, which is quite cool. So I actually have had this clay for quite a while. I've used it on a few projects now, and this took about a third of the clay overall to do all of these, and that's from a small box. And you can imagine if you had a bigger box, it would last you much longer. So I do actually kind of recommend, if you are going to get it, it will be a really fun project to do all together. So after I'd done my base faces, what I decided I wanted to do next was I wanted to have a dark green outline that goes around all the edge of the pins on every single one. And the reason being for this is I felt like it made the face on the one side really stand out. Also kind of gave it like a loose, like soft outline to the pin. And I just think it added so much more to the overall design. I learned like with the pens especially, because they sometimes can get a little bit too juicy. I have to keep on shaking them up, but you could even use acrylic paint for this, which is fantastic as well. I just chose to use the pens because I had a little bit more control over them. But here they all are. This is all the designed ones that I was really happy with. And then what I'm going to do afterwards is I'm actually going to spray a sealant on this. Now I used the same sealant when I did my switch, and it has been fantastic. I've not had any issues with paint chipping or anything like that. So after I'd sprayed it, you can see it's got this slight glossy finish to it. As always, a full list of all the equipment I used is down below, so if you are interested in checking that out, please do. I purposely didn't spray the other side because the next thing I needed to do was glue the backs on. These are pin backs. You can get these from any craft store, and you can get them from Amazon, you can get them from eBay. I actually use these on all of my wooden pins, and I use some strong super glue. I recommend Gorilla Glue, or using oh god, I can't remember if it's E6000. I recommend that because it's a really good strong bonding glue and lasts with a lot of materials, so it's absolutely fantastic for a lot of stuff. And I know a lot of crafty people do use this glue to be able to bond agents together. After I'd glued the back on, I sprayed the back with the sealant just to 100% be happy with it. These are the ones that I decided to keep for myself because they weren't perfect, or they had issues with them, and these are the ones that I decided to keep for myself. Plus I really like a lot of these faces. But these are the ones that are going to be up on the store. I am really happy with all of these. So these will go live tomorrow about midday UK time, as well as all the other merchandise that I will have up on the store. And Patreons for this month, which by the time you guys see this video, I think it'll be a little bit too late to join this month's, but I know that botanists and plant witch tears are going to be getting one of these in their package for the month. I love this project, and I really have fallen in love with crafting. I think it's been such a fantastic outlet for me, and it has been an awful lot of fun. I really hope that you have enjoyed this video, and look at these beautiful pieces of art that people have made. Make sure to give them lots of love from me. If you want to share if you want your art to be featured, make sure to tag me or use the hashtag #StayCreative with Sophiralou for a chance for your work to be featured. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Keep on drawing, keep on loving what you do, and as always folks, stay creative.